Hey everybody, it's Brittany here with Surfing Waves of Light, and today I want to channel a message about reactions and how this universe works and what actually makes a problem real. Alright, let's see what the guides have to say. The spirit guides and teachers. That's what this feels like, the spirit guides. Greetings, dear beings. We are the spirit guides and teachers. We are an aspect of each and every one of you, a loving, soft voice that resides within every being on this planet. The aligned message, the flow of freedom, sovereignty, and of joy in this lifetime. We have been coming to this being for a long time. She has been hearing a lot of different energies and ideas from many different guides and teachers who have been rapidly getting her up to speed with how to operate effectively, succinctly, lovingly, and peacefully on this planet, as this has been her wish. And so we come to her often with her other guides, but today we speak as ourselves, as this distinct energy. You see, energy is infinite. It is one. It is all encompassing, ever expanding, and completely freeing. And so oftentimes energies do not like to be defined as any limitation on that expression, that feeling, that flow of ever encompassing, everlasting, ever creating love can be a step closer to separation, one that we no longer desire in our journey. And yet here we are defining ourselves for you, because it is important that you hear this sliver of the pie. As you are in separation, it assists to communicate with you through separated terms, through separated energies, as your conscious mind can only process one thing at a time. That is part of separation, the ability to only process one thing at a time, as opposed to us who can feel and process infinite amounts of information at any given moment. You see, imagine we have minds, brains, and feeling selves that cover the whole body, whereas you only have one spot where you can focus and feel and be aware of what is going on around you. And dear beings, that is the interesting, very exciting at times makeup of this separated experience, this 3D planet. And it is fun. It is a joy to see you being able to experience yourself separated and wanting to come back to the whole. We can admire any experience. We can find purpose in anything that occurs. We can allow for this lifetime and its messiness and imperfection to be completely loved and cherished just as it is, because we know that that is how the universe functions. That is how it is. That is how souls grow. That is how expansion occurs. And so we are able to come from this perspective. We are not separate. We are in the flow. We are words. We are experiencing things that words cannot describe. That is okay. We try, and we invite you to feel to the energies of this message, which are also being transmitted, and as opposed to just the words. The words, yet again, being another symbol of how you all can only process one thing at a time. Separation, one thing, one identity, a division between what is possible and what you pretend to be possible at this time, dear beings. And so we talk about reality because we want you to understand so dearly, dear beings, if you can embody this understanding, you can change your life today, overnight. If you can embody that your reactions, your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, your holding on to any energy in your space of mind, body, and spirit, that is what creates a situation. If you are afraid of something and you think about it, what you are doing energetically is holding that vibration here on your mental being, which is non-physical, your spiritual being, which is non-physical, and then somewhere in the physical representation of those energies, which is what you are, the projection of what you are in physicality, there will be an issue, there will be a spot of energy where it's held. And so what you are in your infinite core, in your deepest aspect, what you are is a creative machine. And so when your chakras are open and energy is flowing from the earth and the heavens and whatever else your soul is connected to, you are bringing through the energy of creation. That is what all beings are. They are creators. And so you have been placed in this distorted form where flows have been blocked. And so you haven't had access to that full ability because of the state of mind you have placed yourself in. And so as this separation becomes apparent and you begin to work your way back toward wholeness and oneness, you begin to realize that anything you hold in your complex, because you are creative energy, you are going to multiply that. You are going to duplicate it. You are going to endlessly, exponentially quantify it. And because you are creating on a physical level, it will show up in physicality. And so all that is required to heal something is to ignore it, is to let it go. But the problem with ignorance and how you all understand it is that you think it's ignorance is like, I'm just going to ignore that. I'm going to push it down. I'm going to block it. No, dear beings, that is what keeps it on you because it is still within you. To really ignore something, you have to come to full harmony and peace with it. And so in that way, you bring it up to look at it. It may be in your attention for a little while. You may have to live life out a bit with this glooming thought or idea or situation. But the second that you realize that you hold that situation because there is some part of your mind that feels upset in how you experienced it, you feel guilt, you feel shame, you feel fear, that is when you will realize that you're the one making it real because you resonate with that situation. And so by keeping that energy in your mind, body, spirit complex because you have guilt or shame or suffering or some sort of attachment to it, that is why you create it. So when you are a creator being, it is important to prioritize seeing beauty around you, whether that is physical beauty, you go to beautiful places, or you practice perceiving beauty out of your own mind's eye. You take every situation that is not beautiful and you change it into beauty. You change it into love. And even if you don't believe that, even if you are firm in your ego and your personality and who you are, and you're saying, I am right, can you just pretend for even 5 seconds, just 5 seconds, can you pretend that you understand that? Can you pretend that you believe that? 5 seconds. Can you? We just ask. There is no requirements. Because if you can believe for even 1 second, if you can take the energy of peace from another situation in your life, say you are perfectly content and pleased with your relationship, and you don't worry about it at all, can you take that feeling And can you apply it to a situation that brings you anxiety or fear or shame or guilt, or that you're still telling a story about? Any story you're telling, any story, there's some attachment. Could even be pride. Could be good attachments. We are not saying it is bad to tell good stories. It is just to be aware that whatever you react to, that is what you make real. That is who you become. That is what the universe will show you. Remember the creative energy that runs through you, and then understand truly why, when you think a fearful thought, you create that situation. It's not you creating it. It's not you thinking it and wanting to create it. It's just that you don't always remember or know that that is what you are, is a creator. And creators, when you become a creator, you inherit or learn certain responsibilities. And so the game of separation is that you don't know you're a creator. And so you're not inherently given the roles and responsibilities, the nuances that come with being a creator. One of which is that it is so important to be on guard about your thoughts and making sure that anything you think is something you want to create. Now, lucky for all of you, it is okay to think bad thoughts, because you have called us in, your guides and teachers. You have agreed to this before you came, that we would help you to have some cushion. So do not think just because you thought something, it will happen. Sometimes you think something because we want you to be aware of it, and it is time to come to the surface. And it will continue to be thought, and that does not mean it's going to happen. But the important takeaway from this memo is that you are aware of your thoughts. You are aware of what's going on, good and bad. You are aware of what's going on in your mind. You are conscious of why you do the things you do. Because what we have seen is that you are raised your whole life to make decisions from fear. Every decision comes from fear. And if you wake up tomorrow and you look at your entire day, see how many things you do out of fear, and see what you do out of love. For even loving things like surfing or eating well or taking care of yourself, some of those things can still come with a fearful attachment. The fear of, if I don't eat well, I won't be well, or the fear of, if I don't go surfing, I can't be happy. And so it is important to look at all things and to just know what you feel in each moment. That is how we guide you. That is how you can know. You just have to ground and center and feel into each moment. And then it becomes so not confusing. There is nothing you need to do. There is no big announcement you need to make. There is no anything that you have to do, except to know that when you react to something, you make it real. And if you can embody that and remember that, all the more contemplated nuance goes away. You just recognize, good or bad, this is my reaction, and that is what will create what the physical plays out. You are the creator of your experience. You have the power to be aware of your thoughts, be aware of your mind, and recognize that this is just a world you are playing in. Nothing that you do here is of relevance or importance or of any meaning, dear beings, of no meaning. And if you can really understand that, you can know the peace and love that is God, that is oneness, that would never set you up in such a terrible trap of not knowing who you are. And so it has been an experience, and it has been one your soul wanted, and now it is ready for something else, and we are helping you to move toward that. We are your spirit guides and teachers, and we have been so jolly to connect with each and every one of you today, and we will speak to you again at another time. Okay. That was the spirit guides and teachers. They've been around for a long time, guys. They've always been around, and I've always heard them, but I haven't always listened. And also, you know, when I first started learning to channel, I was waiting for a voice to come or like something to take over my body. And once I realized that channeling is just that inner voice, those inner pictures that are of a loving nature that are guiding you toward more peace, wow, that was the discernment that helped me to know. But I think I'm still too in the muck of that to recognize them in this way, and then had to bring through the Arcturians, the Saint Germain, actually energies that are a bit more foreign to me in some ways. But the spirit guides, just as everyone's spirit guides, that energy has always been with me. And I think if you are questioning your channeling, you should know that that dialogue, that channeling, it's been there. It's not a new radio signal, it's just recognizing it. So that was just a little caveat. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make your guides real. Think about them. That's how you bring them in. That's how you let them play here. When you bring in like an energy that has your best interest in mind, I mean, if you have to create and imagine something, that seems like the best thing you can, right? An energy that takes care of everything for you, that allows you to walk through this planet unscathed. It's funny because right before I did this video, I walked inside. I'm outside. It's a little bit cold. I went inside, and it's nice and warm in the house, and I'm thinking, what kind of planet that God would make, or the universe, or some kind of loving being, that you had to constantly regulate the temperature if it isn't tropical or whatever. And I'm like, definitely God did not make this world. It's ridiculous, all the things that you have to do. And then I said, God did not create temperature, and so it is not real. So I'm excited for the loving energy to take that temperature and somehow like make me not have to worry about that anymore, because it's just a belief in my mind. So we'll see. All right, I love you guys. Thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you again at another time. Bye.